one.
Have a PlayStation 1, the original one.
Mm-hmm.
And this happened to be a loose game that I bought. And that...
What's up, everybody? It's been a minute. Today we're going to do top TV shows that did really bad, but we like. And we got some ouches and we got some other stuff. And yeah, that's it.
Hey, they already started the show without the booth knowing.
Put on the 10-second timer. I can't find Rosie anywhere.
Bukaki's special. Wow, that's $1
It's
more.
okay. I'll introduce the show tonight.
You guys don't like the next set of videos? I don't know what you're doing here.
No, definitely.
This is our whole show.
Yes.
Yeah.
It doesn't get worse than this. It doesn't get worse.
Yeah, this is the bar going low. Yeah.
Yeah, we're setting the bar where it should be.
Low.
And then we'll
we
work
we could go higher. Yeah.
We'll try to work up to that during the show. We'll try to work.
We're like the little engine that could. Like, yeah, it just and it doesn't. Yeah. Right.
So I used to date this guy.
Get ready for the mind-blowing, laugh until it hurts, and you pee your pants. Out-of-body experience like no other. Introducing the man with all the fancy buttons, Tick. And the man who pushes all those buttons,
the amazing
professor.
reviews.
Now give it up for Tick and the professor. You're watching the TP show?
Yes.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
I just noticed there's like one Spanish person in that audience going CC,
Yes.
CC, CC,
that's my favorite part.
I don't know why I never noticed that before. It's just that one random person going C, CC, CC, C.
Oh.
So this is a discussion we've had a lot. Why exactly do we have a break between this and the next section? Like, have we ever figured that out yet?
No.
I like this end part. Did it. That's my favorite part. So have we figured out why we have like the intro and then we go to the thing and
do we do this now? Do we not do this now? Are we supposed to do this
understand
now?
what's going on? Yeah. So basically, I think originally it made sense, but now it doesn't make any sense at all because it was like do the intro, talk about something, and then go into our thing.
Yeah.
And we kept saying, "Oh, we need an intro for that," not knowing that like we come in from an intro. You know what I mean? Like we need an intro for the intro to get ready for the intro. So but it's just weird. So this part of the show is drinks.
Drinks. Yep.
And our weekends. So this might be a
or
longer segment than
our
normal.
month.
Yeah, pretty much. Like
So I got a beer. So,
you got a beer.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Let's cracking it open. What, that was a real one?
Yeah, this is the fake one.
Oh my God, that real one sounded better than normal. Did you really crack that?
Yeah, I did.
Cheers.
Cheers.
No, I was just gonna say like that should be our new Kraken sound. If you hadn't pressed the button, that would have. I should have just shut up because that was like the most perfect one we've had recently. Okay, so yeah, it's been a month. Is that right? Since the last show? Is that an accurate statement?
Probably. Close to it.
At least a month. Maybe longer, maybe shorter, but it's going to be real close to it. So, how was your month? Because mine's longer. Mine's longer than yours, I think.
My month was good. I don't read that. Same old. Watch movies. Spend time with the kids. Not really,
Makes sense.
Work.
No, it makes perfect sense. Mine was a bit different. So basically, the reason we had to take off last time was because I had a gig, because I do like AV work as a job and normally pulls me away from the house. And I'm not taking the show on the road because it doesn't make a lot of sense. Because most of the times I don't know what my schedule is anyway. So like, even if I was able to do the show on the road, which I could figure out how to do, that's not complicated. What is complicated is I don't know what my schedule is on the job. So like, I might not get done work until 2 a.m, but I might get done at 4 p.m. So we could possibly do a show and possibly not. So we just canceled it. And I did the gig, and it went smooth and then horrible and then off the cliff bad. So the first 3 days were fine. They were great. Like, we got there, we did our normal thing, what we do, everything went smooth. You know what I forgot to do? Okay, I'm gonna have to move that later. I put the recordings. I didn't put both recordings in the same folder, so I have to change that in a bit. I should also, give me 1 second too. Let me also check while I'm doing this, because I've made the mistake in the past, and we ran out of room, like literally while we were recording. Zippy is
I should
low,
preface
but
all
Zippy's
this
okay.
stuff with, you wanted to talk most about it on the show. So I was like, are just everything okay? And you're like, yeah.
Okay. So like, the story is ridiculous. And that's why I was like, I have to save this for the show. Like, if I do it any earlier than the show, I'll be mad. Do you know what I mean? Because it's one of those stories. So I get up, and I guess it's like the 4th day of the gig. And you know how you get into a routine, even though this is a temporary gig, you still get into a routine. So I got up, and normally what I was doing was drinking like an energy drink in the morning and having like a breakfast bar or something like that. But for whatever reason, I just drank the energy drink, and I went to work, and my stomach didn't feel good at all. Like, I was like, oh, this is weird. And then I'm like, oh, wow, I feel like Saturday morning after a really long Friday night. This isn't going well. And I was like, I need to find a bathroom. So like, I'm looking around, and I'm like, okay, there's the bathroom. So I walk over to the bathroom. Nobody's in there. I walk in, and for anybody that gets queasy, when other people get queasy, this is a good time to stop watching. But so I go into the toilet, and I'm like, I know I'm getting sick. So I'm like, I get as close as I can to the toilet. I must have been like this close to the toilet. I was like as close as I possibly could get. Somehow I missed the toilet. Like, it's still like, it literally went this way. I felt like I was in Bridesmaids when they're like breaking into the bathroom, and they're like, I need the toilet. Okay, I got the sink. Okay, well, I got the bathtub. Like, it went like that. And I'm like, okay, I feel so much better now. And then I leave, and I do the thing you do whenever you get sick, is you just start to rehydrate. Well, 5 times during the day, not once, not twice, but 5 times I had to find a bathroom. And I'm at a professional event. So like, all of these people are walking around, they're all professionals. And I'm like trying to figure out, like, I have to go to a bathroom that's not occupied, for the simple fact that anybody that walks in the bathroom will know I'm getting violently ill. I mean, there's 0% chance you're not going to be, it's like, oh, that dude partied too hard last night. You know what I mean? Like, there was 0% chance. And wait for it, I'm at a drug addiction and mental health fucking seminar, and I am vomiting a lung out in a toilet. I'm like, this is not going well. So every time I drink water, like, the water comes back up, and then a little bit more of the purple and blue stuff. By the 5th time in the bathroom, I lost count of how many times I actually got sick, because each time I went in there, it was more than once. Finally, I think the last of this stuff comes up, right? So I'm like,
so what was the energy drink?
This is ridiculous. Okay, so it is V8 energy drink, the blueberry flavor. And I apologize to V8 because I haven't got, it's great. It tasted awesome. It went down super smooth. I have not gotten a chance to call the V8 energy drink company yet. And that is because... No, and to tell them, hey, this can had some botulism in it. You might want to go check the other ones. So I go home, and I know from previous experience, for anybody out there that's a rookie when it comes to drinking, if you cannot get water into your body, like if you physically can't get water to stay in your body, and that's where I was at. There was 0 water in my body all day. Like, any water that went in was coming right back out. Take a bath. Soak in water. Your body can absorb water in other ways. And if you don't get the water in your body, I guarantee you'll end up in the hospital. Guaranteed. So I'm soaking in a bathtub, and I take one of the towels from the bath, from the hotel I'm at. And I thought that I was at the YMCA in 1970. It was like the most chlorinated towel I've ever smelled in my life. Like I was like, okay, but I needed something to go on my head. I had to put something on my head because I had what I thought at the time was an ingrown hair right here. So I had like an ingrown hair here. So I have the towel laying on me and I'm laying back.
Yeah.
And I go and get out of the bathtub and I wake up the next morning and my face doesn't look great. I'm like, oh shit, how am I going to get through this week? Because I had like 2-3 more days to go. And I'm like, I don't know how I'm going to get through this. This is going to be weird. I'm not sure how this is going to happen. So I just do what any like child of the Gen X generation does, is just like pushed through. I made it through the gig. It wasn't impossible. It wasn't the best thing ever. But like, it was literally like the day that I got sick, I was like sitting there, like the guys knew I was sick. I don't know if my lead knew because I'm not one of those people like, oh, I'm sick, I got to go home. You know what I mean? I was just sitting there like, I hope I don't die. And the guys that I was working with were like, dude, fucking leave. And I'm like, okay, cool. Yeah. Okay. And I had been there for like 7, 6, 8 hours. I'd been there a while. It wasn't like I got there and an hour later, I'm like, I'm out, dude. I drank too much last night. So I'm laying in the bathtub. I have the towel on me. I wake up the next morning and now it looks like I have poison ivy. I'm like, fuck, I got poison ivy. How did I get poison ivy? How did I get poison ivy? I'm like, I have no idea how I got poison ivy. So I ran to the store and I got Caladril, but they are calamine, but they didn't have real calamine and they didn't have Caladril clear. Caladril clear you can put on and you don't look like a leper victim. Right. Calamine, you look like a leopard. You look bad. You look
it's
bad.
That weird pinky orange thing.
Pink, gross, yeah. And this is the generic version. So I opened it, and normally with Caladril, calamine, any of those, it's a cream. It's not a cream. It's thinner than a cream, but it's not thin. I went like this, and it poured out like it was a breakfast drink. I was like, ah, shit. So I ended up having to use toilet paper like I was doing makeup. And I was just like patting it on my face, okay? Yeah. So I get through the rest of the gig, barely. My partner comes and picks me up. And she's like, yeah, you don't look that good. I'm like, yeah, I don't feel that good. And at this point, I looked way worse than I did before. Like way worse than I did before. And we'll get to a picture in a second. Hopefully I'll be able to pull that up. So I am just like, I don't feel good. And we're driving home and I'm like, this fucking poison ivy's got me pissed off because I was mad. So I was like, we stopped at a Walmart on the way home. We go into the pharmacy area. Yeah. I'm like, I got to go ask the pharmacist if she recommends, like, I couldn't find what I was looking for. And it was like, hey, I think I got poison ivy. And I need to know what to do. And she literally, without even saying it, she looks at me, she goes, no, you have shingles. I go, what? I go, what? I thought it was poison ivy. She goes, no, it's shingles. You know how I can tell? And I go, no. She goes, because it's only on half of your body. When shingles appears, it only appears on half of your body. If you had it all over your head, and I thought about it later, I'm like, yeah, I had that towel and it went all the way across my head, but the only part that kind of broke out was over here. So I make an emergency appointment with my doctor, go to the doctor right away. I walk in and my doctor looked exactly like the pharmacist. They might as well have been sisters. And she's like, yep, you've got shingles. And I'm like, oh, okay. She's like, I got to give you this medicine and you've got to get, you got to take that like 6 times a day. I'm like, oh, no, 5 times a day. I had to take the medicine 5 times a day. And she goes, I'm going to give you the steroid that everybody gets, prednisone. And I'm like, oh, that stuff makes you fat. And she's like, oh, don't worry about it. You're not going to get it that long. I only had it for like 2 or 3 days. And then she goes, and you're going to have to do eye drops. She said eye drops.
For you.
Eye drops. Wait for it. Wait for it. 6 times a day I had to do eye drops.
No.
And it was exactly to a T, without missing a beat, exactly how it was when I was a little kid, like when I was 4. No difference at all. It was battery acid in my eye. Like literally,
So
6 times a day,
did you,
2 drops.
Did you do the thing
times
where
7,
you
42,
hold
84.
your eyelid out and drop it
Yeah,
in?
I
Or
have to
did
go
you
like this.
straight
I
in?
go like this. I go like this.
Oh, yep.
Yeah, and I can do it. Here's the thing, though. It was funny. I would always get an indirect shot, and then it would have to drip in. And so I could tell. So out of the 42 times I had to do it, I had to do 2 drops each time. On average, I was getting 1.2 drops in my eye, and then I'd blink the rest of it in. But when I got 2 solid drops in, anytime I got 2 solid drops in, which did happen several times, I literally had to grab things in the bathroom to keep from falling over because it hurt. And my whole head, it was weird. Like if you've ever gotten like punched in the nose and you kind of get that blackout woozy feeling, that's almost exactly what it felt like. I was just sitting there like, I was like, oh shit. And funny enough, the first time I did it, because I didn't get it right for a while. Like I was getting like 1 1/4 drops in my eyes, like over and over and over again. I finally got it right. And what I had been doing was I'd get the 2 drops in and I'd walk out of my bathroom to go into the bedroom. Well, this one time I get the 2 drops perfect and I go to walk out of the bathroom and I literally had to like grab stuff because I was like, where the am I? Holy crap, what is going on? Because it really screwed with like just my whole entire brain. Like there's no part of my brain that wasn't messed up. The pain was bad. The whatever it did, like changed the way you saw stuff. You know what I mean? Like it was, and my eyes were closed, but like, you know how you get stars sometimes? That's what it was like. And then on top of that, I have an eye issue. So I'm like, what part of this? And the funniest part was I was at a mental health convention and I'm having a complete nervous breakdown at the mental health convention. Then I get home to have complete nervous breakdown. Oh my God, it was the worst. So let me see if I can pull up. You know what? I need to put this on the other one, I think. Okay, let me see if I can get this over to the other screen. Let's see if it'll come up over there.
That sucks, though.
Yeah, and I was like, I gotta wait to tell him the story, even though I want to tell him right now. Like, I want to tell him right now. Okay, so now I got to get this set up because that's the wrong screen. So let me see if I can get the right screen up. Okay, so I need 269. Remember 269.
269.
Yeah, let me get this set up first.
69, dudes!
Bing. So, for anybody that's queasy, again, another good time, probably not to be looking at the screen because this is going to get nasty real quick. Like, I will let you know, this is one of the reasons I was like, yeah, we're canceled. Like, I didn't want to be on screen. Like, I'm not one of those people that's like, super, what's that word? I'm not super upset, like, when I don't look a specific way. Right. 269, right?
Yeah.
269. Let me get that. I wish there was a way to type that in. I've said that for a while. Like, we always have such big, giant shows that being able to type it in would be helpful. Okay, you sitting down? Oh, you don't want me drinking. I'm just telling you.
Okay.
This is just in my keeps. Anyway, there it is. Ooh, wrong button.
No,
wrong button.
That's yeah.
What? Okay, I did it wrong. What did I do wrong?
I don't know. I saw it though.
Yeah, but I messed it up. I hate when I do that. I need 269 on the HD content. HD content. I've made the show complicated enough that it's a pain in my butt, but not complicated enough that I can't run it. It's just every now and again, I'm like, God damn it, which button did I need to press?
So
I need
it looked like it scabbed over, but then did the doctor have to like clean the scabs and stuff like that too?
Here we go. Pam!
Yeah.
So what the doctor, okay, so I knew I was in trouble when I came out of the doctor's office and the receptionist, when I went, oh yeah, I got shingles, they went, oh, blessed be with you, child. Without missing a beat, all 3 of them. There were 3, oh, dear child, I feel so bad for you, dear child. I'm like, the hell?
Do you know what they call that though?
Kill somebody? What do they call that? Big giant pain in my ass.
Special. Wow, that's $1 more.
I wish it was the Bukkake special. So,
sorry,
I
know I'm laughing.
Oh, no,
and I know
no.
it sucks.
I totally get it. Oh, like, no, I totally get it. I love laughing. I've been, okay, so you'll find this funny. In order to keep myself laughing, I rhymed Pringles with a food product. And I'll give you a couple seconds to come up with the food product. So what does shingles remind you of? Like word food wise?
Pringles. Yeah.
Of course. And so I bought so many goddamn Pringles, I can't even tell you. I just bought more and more Pringles.
The honey mustard ones.
These are the best ones. That's why I brought them out.
Yes.
I was like, I've eaten at least 20 of the different Pringles, and this is by far the best one. The best one. The honey Pringles.
Yep.
Yes.
Yep.
So that was the situation. They were just like, and I was like, why are they like saying this to me? So let's jump back a little bit, and then we'll get back to that part of the story. About a month before my gig, I got these random pains in my head. It felt like I thought an ingrown hair. Okay? I thought it was an ingrown hair. So I had one right here. I had one like right here, and I had one like right here. Come to find out, that's not what it was. It was shingles. And so I basically, even though it was, their towel was nasty and all, it didn't cause the breakout. It just made it worse than it was. And when I got home, my eye was completely closed shut. Like, no. And what the ladies were trying to say, and I didn't understand at the time, is it's super painful, like super painful. So for the first 3 days, I couldn't sleep at all, like zero, nada. I got zero sleep for 3 days. And it was one of those things where if you ever fall asleep at your desk, like you didn't get enough sleep at night, and then you catch yourself and you wake up, that's what happened, but based on pain. So I'd be like sleeping, I'm like, okay, I'm asleep. Oh, I'm awake now. Cause it was like somebody stabbing me. And then I had to take tissues and I had to dab it. If you scratched, forget about it. And luckily I learned from my days and days and years of experience with poison ivy, I don't scratch anymore. Like I've been able to train myself like not to scratch. So I'm dabbing my face, and then I would pull it over and I'd look at it and I go, okay, it is wet. Because there were 3 things that you get from this. You get sharp shooting pains, which kind of sucks completely, but they kind of go away. And mine, it was funny. The doctor's like, well, what's your pain? And I was like, 0. I didn't have any pain. But I said, when I do have pain, it ranges from like 6 to 9. I never had any what are called showstopper pain. So the way they do the scale is 0 to 10. And I have always made 10 what I call a showstopper pain. If you've ever seen somebody grab their heart and go like this, that's a 10. That's a 10. Yeah. Like, so I didn't have any 10s, but I had 9s. So I'd be in the middle of a conversation and I would start stuttering because I was like, ow, I can't get words out. So I'm sitting there and so the pain is bad, but as the pain starts to subside, I feel like there's worms underneath my skin.
Oh no. Oh.
And I'm like, ugh. And then this is my favorite part, I felt like I'm sweating. Because remember how before I told you, these all got like pussy kind of, and I had to drain them. Yes. I had to like use stuff and drain them. Well, I would still feel like there was stuff dripping. And I would take a paper, I would take a tissue and I'd go like this, and then I'd look at the tissue, it'd be perfectly dry. And I'm like, oh my God, I'm having phantom sweat pains where it's just dripping into my eye. I'm like, this is so much worse than I expected. And so the first 4 days, like I didn't sleep at all, 0, like 15 minutes here, maybe 15 minutes there. And then as the days went on, I was able to sleep a little bit more. And then I guess it was about 5 or 6 days ago, I'm like, yes, I'm finally on the mend. I feel great. And it flipped. Like I went away from being like the stabby pains to being all the creepy pains. So all the creepy pains, like I made the mistake of like, I can't touch it because then it's on fire. Right. So I've got to be like, and so I'm like, even though it looks actually like this looks great compared to what it was, it still has that like weird, creepy, crawly pain and the weird sweaty pain. And then if I itch it, forget about it. Like I'm just like, why did I do that? Oh my God, what a mistake. And it also leads to sleeping as well. So I'll be like sleeping and then I'll move. I'm like, oh. So I got horrible sleep for like a week and a half, 2 weeks. Got a good sleep for like 2 or 3 days. And then right back to horrible again. I'm back into the horrible sleeping pattern. That's why I was like, I have no idea how long we're going to be able to do today. Because I was just like, oh, this sucks. So
what did you think actually caused it?
I got chicken pox when I was a kid. That's what causes it for everybody, period. Like if you've had chicken pox, you have shingles in you. And this is the worst part of the story, which I didn't actually tell you. My mom, like, what was it? 6 months ago, 2 years ago, she's been telling me for months, like years, you should go get your single shot. And I'm like, yeah, I'll get it later. Yeah, I'll get it later. So I reached out to my friends from high school, and apparently Wolfie and Flea both have had shingles. Now, here's the difference. Wolfie got it, he said, on his torso, and Flea got it up by his armpit, which, oh, that sounds nasty as hell. Like, I don't know if I could have been able to handle that. But out of the three, I got it on my face. And the face is worse because it's actually, oh, and that's the other thing, too. Since I have an eye thing, I try to avoid even talking about it. But I have an eye thing. Right. So the eye, I don't know if you've ever pulled a muscle in your eye. Have you ever pulled a muscle in your eye?
No.
Okay. That's what it feels like. If you ever pull a muscle in your eye, it's got a weird feeling to it. And it's felt like that for the whole damn time. Like I just have been like, and so like I've been on the edge of like insanity for like weeks. And I'm just like, yeah, don't talk to anybody. I'm not talking to anybody. Like I did a bunch of stuff, but like today was the first day I came into the studio and I had to clean up from the cats because the cats have been coming in and just knocking everything on the ground. Like, oh, we can come in here and do whatever we want. And I'm like, oh, apparently I guess you can. And so now I think I'm over the hump, and now it's just the last, hopefully, few days, and this will probably start to go away. But if you have ever had chicken pox, definitely when you're getting to be about 50, because 50 is the defining age, they said. Flea got it when he was 49. Wolfie got it in his 50s. I'm in my 50s.
I'm 42.
And the reason that my mom told me, like, you want to go get the shot is my mom has been on medication and been in pain since I was born, basically. She said it was the most painful thing she went through. I'm like, great. I don't listen to my mom, and look what ends up happening.
Yeah.
So,
man.
And now it's just funny because now it just reminds me, if you ever got really bad acne in high school, that's what this reminds me of now. Because I have like a crater. I have a crater like here. And the ones that are actually the problem is I have it in here. Like it is in my hair. So what happens is when the scab comes off, I actually have to like pull it like it's
I
have to pull it out of my hair, sort of like I tied something in my hair. So that's what I've been doing. And to be quite honest, it's not been fun. I haven't been enjoying it. Like I've not been.
I wouldn't either.
It kind of sucked. And it was funny too, because I wanted to do the show, but like I barely, like I looked much worse than this, and I was barely functional. So I was like, yeah, this isn't going to go well at all.
As soon as you said shingles, I was like, you just take care of yourself. I don't care about anything else.
Right.
Like,
exactly. And that was nice. I really appreciate that. That was kind.
Like, I don't care. I'll make something work.
If this show was more complicated, then I probably would have been like, oh, I'm going to need another week. But I'm like, we'll just get together and see what we can do today.
We still had a show every Tuesday.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
So,
it's not like we didn't have one. Yeah, but it's not like tons of people are tuning in anyway. I mean, if we've talked about this before, it's me, you, and maybe 2 people. And so
2 people.
It is what it is.
But yeah, I mean, I still put like old shows up like every Tuesday and stuff. So,
and that's awesome. And that's perfect.
We're there.
And nails it. So that leads us to a segment that I don't have a segment button for because we're doing.
You know what?
Go ahead.
You know what? We should have started this one with not TPS report, but we should have did ouch. And that should have been your story.
It should have been this for sure. I totally agree. It should have been like,
yes,
ouch.
That should have been it.
The pain.
Yeah. And that's nothing. You wish you fell down and got ran over by a bike. Like,
you'd probably be fixed a lot quicker. That was the thing that kept getting me annoyed. Like, Kimber, my partner, she was amazing. I just kept getting annoyed though, because I'm like, I don't want to be like laying in bed anymore. She's like, nope, you're laying in bed, and I'm like, thanks.
Yeah.
And then like the couple days go by, I'd be like, I want to be in bed. She's like, you look bad. Just go back to bed. And the major thing is sleep. Like I didn't get a lot of sleep for like 2 weeks because every time I have to sleep I sleep on my stomach and or on my side, and my face is on the pillow. So like I was kind of screwed. Like I had to figure out how to like lay my head up like this and kind of
I'm a back and side sleeper.
So yeah, you have an easier time. I actually I've had a few level 10 pains, but the one that I remember clear as day was I was in the hospital and I got in back surgery, and I can't sleep on my back at all. period. So I'm laying on my back, not sleeping for days. And apparently my body was like, okay, I'm going to go to sleep. And while I had fallen asleep, my body had turned onto the side, which wasn't a problem. So I'm sleeping, I'm on my side. And then my body rolled back because my body wanted to go to the other side. So when I rolled back to there, woke up like that, and immediately started hitting the button, like panic button. Like panic, doc, nurse, drugs now, nurse, drugs now. And that's the only level 10 pain that I know for a fact that I felt in my life. Because I was just like, oh, this isn't good. This isn't good at all. So that's the story. I'm sticking to it. It was funny too, when I checked out of the hotel, I was like, hey, can I have like the manager's like number? Yeah. And the lady goes, why do you need that? And I went, that. And at this point, my eyes like this, swollen shut. My whole head is like on fire and red. And it just looks, I look bad. And she's like, you know how sometimes they give you pushback? They're like, oh, I'll try to. Here you go. There was no pushback at all. And once I got home, I was like debating. I go back and forth. I think I'm going to reach out to them and just basically say, hey, why do your towels smell like the 1970s YMCA pool? Like they're really, really bad. And I know
because
that
they probably store them right next to the chlorine.
Yeah,
like
probably.
In the pool.
They probably store them in the chlorine in the pool.
Yeah, they probably do.
It was just nuts. It was just crazy.
Someone got chlorine and bleach mixed up.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. They must have. But yeah, it was crazy. I couldn't believe how insane it was. So,
fun fact about me.
Yes.
If I'm tired enough, I could even sleep standing up. So
that's a military thing too. Like, I don't know if you know anybody in the military, but like they teach you early on that you've got to be awake, meaning standing at attention, whether you're awake or not. So okay,
I don't know why I just always been able to do that.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome.
It's not. I would rather not want to do that because sometimes you're so tired you just do it.
Yeah. But it could be a disease too. It is possible that you have a disease. So that would be funny though if you got diagnosed like later in life, like, oh, dude, you've had this forever. So,
well, now I can't sleep. Thanks for diagnosing that. So I would rather sleep.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So I pulled up one of the special ones we used in the past, although it has nothing to do with the next section.
Sweet.
At all.
Cool.
Zero. Cover songs. Cover songs we're using as a cover for 5 bad TV shows that you like and I like and we like. And that's a lot of liking. Yeah, let's make that happen. Now I need to just get to the buttons.
I don't even know what way we're going with this. So
they're Utubes. So, get that off the screen. Get that off the screen. There we go. That's off the screen. So, TP show. Wrong one. Come on. Why are you doing me like this? There we go. Finally. That took forever. So now I just got to do this. And there we go. Give me a second. This one. Then this one. I hate these buttons. These buttons are too fancy. Why do we have so many fancy buttons? There we go. Cool.
I don't know.
So now I just need to go forward one and get our lovely QR code, and then we can go to the first one. I think you're first. Yeah, Professor's first. So.
Okay, cool.
And this will be Utube. So, and now we'll find out if, and they're giving me the full commercial, not even allowing me to skip it. So.
Okay. Sweet.
Which kind of works because.
I'm wondering what order. Is this going 5 to 1 or is it going 1 to 5?
Should be going 5 to 1. It should be.
Okay, cool.
Should.
All right.
So.
Oh, that's court gesture. That's the Pauly Shore thing that we saw.
Oh, okay. Then I went too far. So.
You went too far. Back it up.
Back it up. Let me begin. I bet. How's that song go? I came to win.
Pack it up. Pack it in.
Pack it up.
Let me begin. I came here to get down.
I came here to win.
Jump around. Something like that.
Jump around.
Shout Factory TV, changing the channel.
This is it. Look at this.
Thank you, homies.
What is this?
For the first
time on
DVD, the Aquabats.
This was the greatest TV show that there ever was.
I've never heard of the Aquabats, I don't think.
What? And you lived in California?
Wild antics of the Aquabats. The
And I
world's
lived in
first
You'll
and
notice
only
things. Look around in the
musical
background.
sure
It's
I
all
will.
Orange County.
I'm sure it's exactly where I used to live.
In Huntington
13
Beach and
out
all
of
that,
this
yeah.
world
Oh, yeah.
episodes from the first season are here in one deluxe collection.
Let's do this. This is a major
Weird Al.
Wow, that's pretty awesome. Of course it's in the eye. Of course.
Oh, it's on.
Plus, the original pilot episode, all new commentaries, and more.
And
That was
more.
hardcore.
The Aquabat Super Show, Season 1, now available on DVD.
And damn, Gina.
So
Yeah,
this
Aquabats.
was early 2000s, and
Yes.
I think it was like a Net Geo show. Remember when that was
Oh,
a
okay.
channel?
Yes.
Yeah. And
Yes.
so this same group of Aquabats started in like the 90s at like Fullerton like JC College.
I got
And
you.
they're
Yeah.
they're like a ska band, and they were all superheroes.
Okay, you know what?
And-
I might have heard of the band then. I remember something about
Okay.
Aquabats, but I didn't know it was
Yes.
a show. So
So, all those like ska kids that weren't like hardcore, they were like ska and,
right.
like the punk scene
Yes.
and stuff.
yeah,
So this was
yeah.
the band for them, like in California. This was it.
that makes
And
perfect sense.
so where I grew up, like Yorba Linda, they
Right.
were right there. That's their hometown. So I've
So-
seen the Aquabats, I don't know how many times.
That's hilarious.
The lead guy
and then it
that's
became
right
a
there,
TV
the back,
show. Yeah.
right, the back commander with the
Right.
mustache.
The guy on the left. Got
He's
it.
the brains of everything, and he actually made the show Yo Gabba Gabba.
Oh,
So if you've
yeah.
heard of
I've
Yo
heard of
Gabba
Yo
Gabba on
Gabba
Nickelodeon.
before, for sure.
Yeah. So
That's
it's all
hilarious.
it's all him, and he wanted a TV show, and then he had kids, and he was like, well,
Right.
let's make a children's TV show. And then
Makes sense.
from
Makes
the
a lot of
money
sense.
from Yo Gabba Gabba, they made the Aquabats TV show. And
That makes perfect
the guy
sense.
that's turned around right
Yes.
there, that's Eagle Bones, but he
Yeah.
was the lead guitarist to Death by Stereo. So
Ooh, I got you.
yeah. So
That is
it's super
hilarious.
fun. And this was the time when there was like that Super Bad. Remember that Flash
Yes.
animation? Yes. So Super Bad's actually in one of the episodes too. Like the same voice
What?
guy, everything.
That's hilarious.
And it's just great. My kids loved it. I loved
That's
it.
amazing.
It's a great TV show. It's fantastic. It lasted 3 seasons, and
then
I
it
wish
was
this
gone.
thing would.
Come back.
If this was now,
Yeah.
it would be like someone would pick it up. Netflix would pick it up, or Hulu or something.
I've noticed that a lot. I've noticed that a real lot. Like the people that certain stuff gets picked up, and what was I going to say? Whatever network they're at thinks it's the worst thing that they've ever heard of in their lives.
Yes.
And then they end up
Right.
going somewhere else. And one of mine farther down on the list we'll have a very similar discussion about, because I think
Yeah.
certain shows would still be around if they had the diversity they have between streaming and UHF and just regular TV. Like the normal,
Right.
the big 3, the odd 4. I think there's 4 now. The WB. I don't even know all those channels. now. And then all the streaming stuff. You know what I mean? Because I've noticed that a lot. Where, like, a good example, I don't think I've seen a single Suits video on my feed on YouTube for like 6 months. And within the past 3 weeks, all I see all day, every day is Suits, because
It's
it
Suits.
just went to Netflix. So now that it's on Netflix, which I don't have right now, everybody's talking about it. It's on constantly.
You're going to do the
I mean,
same thing, because that Stephen Amell guy that's in Suits.
Yeah.
He was the Arrow, and like the Green Arrow on WB, and then
wait.
yeah.
What was he in Suits? I don't remember him.
Yeah, he's in Suits.
Yeah, I don't
He's
remember
in the
him
new
Suits. I don't
seasons.
know why.
Yeah.
Oh, the new show, the new Suits. I haven't seen the
Yes.
new Suits. I'm talking about the old
Okay.
Suits. So
So he's new Suits, and because the new Suits is Netflix, they just picked up from Stars his wrestling show called Heels.
yeah. You told me about that show, and I remember watching like 2 or 3 episodes. That was really good,
It's
actually.
so freaking good, and
Yeah.
Stars canceled it, and
Of course.
Netflix said, "Why'd you cancel it? We'll pick it
Right.
up."
Well, yeah.
So now
Also,
that's going to be on there.
it's a good way. It reminds me of the old studio system. So for anybody that's like not above 60, you don't even understand what the old studio system even means. So back in the 40s, 30s, 40s, 50s, and 60s, what you wanted to be is an actor under contract. And what that and the way that happened for a lot of female actresses is they would literally live somewhere in the country. Let's say Philadelphia, because that seems to be my hometown, even though it's not, but it is. You would drive to California to Hollywood, park your car on the side of the road, and walk into certain diners and certain places and just sit there all day. That's all you do.
Yeah.
And hopefully a producer would walk in and be like, hey, we're going to do a test. They would do a screen test, and then the next thing you know, you're under contract. And so Paramount would have your contract, let's say. Well, that means that you couldn't work for anybody else. You worked for Paramount. And what I've noticed is that era went away in the 70s-ish. When the independent filmmakers came along, the studio system kind of went away. When the Spielbergs and the Lucases and what's the one that did Back to the Future? Zemeckis. And I'm trying to think of the other ones. This is before the Robert Rodriguez and
so you're going like Reiner, like Rob Reiner.
Yeah. It's actually Reiner's actually between the two, actually. So Spielberg's here. It's Spielberg and Lucas, and then Rob Reiner came up right after that. And it's not that Rob Reiner wasn't on the scene. It's just that Rob Reiner wasn't considered part of that group because he had already been on TV. Yeah. Meaning that, like, who knew George Lucas until Star Wars came out? And then all of a sudden, like, THX 1138, everybody's like, oh yeah, I knew about this guy for years. No, you didn't. Like, you knew about him because Star Wars came out. And yes, American Graffiti had been out, but American Graffiti, like, American Graffiti got him another gig. I don't think American Graffiti would have been something that he, like, it's basically a stepping stone. You know what I mean? Like, THX 1138, people saw that and said, okay, we'll give you money to make American Graffiti. He got the money to make American Graffiti, and it made enough money that they're like, okay, we'll trust you with another film. And that was Star Wars. And then everybody knows what happened from there. By comparison, Spielberg was knocking it out of the park, like, I don't know. Right. By that point, he was on like his fourth, like, home run. And then Spinal Tap was Rob Reiner's first big film. And it was a mockumentary. So like it's hard to compare like Star Wars, Jaws, and Spinal Tap. But when you think about it, like, it's very, they're in a similar spot, meaning like, hey, give me some money, I'll go make a film for you and we'll make some cash. And that's what happened. So, but yeah, where I was going with that was that now Netflix, Amazon Prime, and Stars, and all of these, they hire actors and they're like, you're in our wheelhouse now. And that's why if you notice, like, I guess it was about 10 years ago, 8 years ago.
Adam Sandler? Netflix
went over to Netflix, and now all of his friends are on Netflix constantly. Like I see all kinds of stuff with everybody because he's one of those really super loyal guys, which I love.
Yeah. Speaking of Netflix, Peacock is so WWE, Netflix. They made a deal together, so they're gonna do everything live. So there's gonna be no more TV. So no more like USA Network for wrestling, no more Fox. It's all Netflix.
Well, that's a Paramount Plus Star Trek move that Netflix just pulled off. That's everybody I know that likes Star Trek has a Paramount Plus account because of that.
Yes.
And now that they have WWE, everyone will have a Netflix account.
And nobody's gonna watch Peacock. Everybody's gonna be like, I had Peacock for what now?
Exactly.
The Office reruns? That's it?
And that's it? No, I'm out. And they say that NBC is in a bad spot because of Peacock. Somehow Peacock screwed up NBC. And I do know that they did some scummy stuff where the only way that you can see certain soap operas is if you have Peacock. That's it.
Yeah.
You can't see it just by watching it on TV anymore.
And then if you go to Peacock, sometimes you can't watch everything unless you have a certain, like,
what they did. No. It's Paramount. Paramount Plus, what they do is they have Paramount Plus. Well, they have three tiers. I think they have like Paramount Plus here, but then Paramount Plus with Showtime. And they're constantly showing you Showtime stuff that you can't watch unless you have the next level up.
Yep. And then one of them, you can't watch movies. I think if you have the lowest one, you can't watch all the new movies that are just coming out.
Right. Yes. Yeah. It's just the way that they're doing I knew that this day would come. I'm so old that YouTube didn't used to have commercials. Like that's how old I am.
Of course.
And I knew that as commercials got cranked up, it would get worse and worse and worse. YouTube now has some of the worst television commercials I've ever seen, because what they do now is they do that.
If you don't skip them.
Yeah. But it's not even the length anymore. They've added a new feature where the screen shrinks down so that they get sidebar information. And every single time that they go to a commercial now on YouTube, every single time, there is a approximately 1 to 3 second blank space. Every single time. I'm like, what did you do? What is going on? And that blank space, I was thinking about it. A second, 2 seconds, that's not really a big deal. But then when you do the math, if you watch 5 videos and then there's 100 people where you live, we're now up to 500 times 2 seconds. Now multiply it by the billions of videos people see. And now we're up to a big ass number. And they really got to do something about it. It's really super annoying.
I agree.
So, okay, here's mine. Here's mine.
Do it.
These messages.
I left the commercials in because they made me laugh.
Yeah, this is perfect.
So the name of the show is
gonna move ya.
The name of the show is The Tomorrow People. Now, what's interesting about this is I went to find The Tomorrow People, and I forgot about the fact that The Tomorrow People had a remake with the he's a super famous guy that's been in tons of stuff.
Against the odds.
Free at last, free at last. Okay, so we'll get back to the show in a minute. But so there's a remake of The Tomorrow People that lasted 1 season, and I think it was Netflix, speaking of Netflix, and it didn't do good at all. And then there was like a 90s Tomorrow People, which I knew nothing about. The one that we're going to watch actually is from the 70s. I didn't know it was from the 70s.
Oh, okay.
I actually watched it on Nickelodeon. Nickelodeon, which is where this comes from.
This mysterious
Yeah.
creature. Believe it or not, most of you
Ay,
eat it.
Dios mío. Get me to the show. There we go.
After these messages.
It was The Tomorrow People. And The Tomorrow People, oh, Mr. Wizard was the best, dude. Anyway.
I love Mr. Wizard. Yeah.
Yes. So The Tomorrow People, it was an English show. So that should tell you a lot about it right off the bat. It was an English show. And the reason that I always remembered it was because teleportation was called jaunting. They didn't teleport, they jaunted. And all of these Tomorrow People.
This?
This was on Nickelodeon in the 80s, like 83, 84, 85 probably. So it was a long ass time ago. And it was a British program. Right, right. And also, it was a lot like the Canadian shows. So all of the shows that people know and love, where there was slime and stuff like that, came from a Canadian show where if you said the words, I don't know, you got slimed. So the whole show was about setting people up to say, I don't know, so they could pour slime on you. And I forget the name of it, but it was on during that time frame. This was before the modern era of Nickelodeon and all the problems they're having.
Well,
Speaking of which,
I
was going to get into that, but it's crazy and we don't need to.
We don't need
so
to.
Each of the Tomorrow People had special abilities. They could all jaunt, like everybody could jaunt, sort of like run. But each person's jaunting ability was like different levels, and they had a machine that they could use so they could go farther distances and more accurately. But they all had like mental and mental psych stuff they could do. And they would basically just use their skills to like hone out evil people. Yeah, I mean, that was the show every week. And I didn't know it was as old as it was until I was doing the research for this, because I thought it was from the 80s, but it was actually a British show from the 70s that got imported via Nickelodeon because they didn't have no programming for the 80s. And then, like I said, they had a remake, but the remake was just bad. Remake was real bad. And the guy that I'm trying to remember, I'm pretty sure it was... It's the guy that's he's on so many things. He's on the Prime show that I love. That he's a his head and his body got killed. His girlfriend killed his body, and then they ended up sending him to
Futurama.
Tomorrow People. No. It's and
I'm just trying to think of all anything that has to do with just like a head floating around.
Robbie Amell, and his most recent TV show is a show called Upload. That's it.
Upload?
Wait.
Okay.
Let's says it's 2020, but I could have sworn they've done like 3 or 4 seasons of that. Yeah, it's a Prime show called Upload, and he was the main person in the reboot of the Tomorrow People, and it wasn't that great. And it reminds me of another one he did. He did another Force Awakens kind where everybody gets their feelings.
Gotcha.
Or whatever.
Yeah.
Anyway, we got to get to the next one. We're taking forever, but I like it.
It's okay. Tomorrow People.
Tomorrow People. And it's one of those sentimental things. I'm wondering if I actually watched a full episode, if I would still actually like it. Do you know what I mean?
Yep. So this next one.
Yes.
They actually made a season 2.
I was about to say the same exact thing as soon as I saw what it was. So you got your wish. You wished upon a star and you got it.
Bigger than it looked in the pictures.
I did. I haven't watched season 2 yet, but season 1 is so fantastic.
They've been promoting it a lot.
Yeah, and I think they did the American Horror Story thing where it's a whole new family with a whole different thing, and it doesn't continue this family.
I don't like it when they do that most of the time, unless they've wrapped it up.
I mean, it would only be okay, and I haven't seen it yet, is if the scary monsters are the same. Like someone else moved into that house. Or like they are the ones haunting.
They came from
then it would be okay.
We'll have to make this place.
And it's funny because we've had this discussion before. This came out at the same time us did. And I kept remembering us getting, me specifically being like, wait, is this us or is this them? Because they were similar to me.
The thing about this, like, I get that it puts you mentally in that time period.
Right.
And with everybody with like the hating of like the
red line districts and the redlining of people.
Oh my gosh, and they were the first white, like they were the first family of color to move into a white neighborhood.
Right.
And oh my God, and I wanted to smack white people. I just wanted to go there and just smack them and just go, no.
Beat them up.
Like, that's it. So with all that going on and all the racism and everything, you have this family, something's going on with their house and they're haunted and they can't leave their house, but they can't stay in their house. And it's just
the best of all worlds. You can't go anywhere, but you can't stay here.
Right.
So yeah, the new season. I couldn't believe the new season. I just saw it recently, and I didn't know that it was on your list.
Because nobody said anything about it, and it just they just surprised us.
Right, and I like it when they do that, when they psych you out. Although I have to admit, most of the time these days, they telegraph the crap out of it. They're like, this is the deal.
Or it's like, yeah, season 2, it will happen, and then like 4 years later, like, oh, cool, we got a season 2.
Yeah, 1,000%. So here's mine. I think this is I don't know, whatever. We'll find out.
We'll find out.
Can you remember?
Oh, I remember this.
Inside your mother's womb. Have you ever thought about
this? Was a good movie.
Yeah, but I'm not talking about the movie.
So was he actually in the TV show?
For 7 seconds, and I think he gets like a producer credit.
Oh,
that's the guy that was in it. And I like that guy. I've liked that guy for a long time.
What's it gonna be, Brian? You ready to become somebody?
You know what? You like movies about pills.
I guess I do.
Like, here, take this pill, and then it will do something to you and show you reality.
Nowhere else.
Yes, and now you're somebody new.
You describe it to your parents, the FBI, to anyone.
Ooh.
I will let you die more painfully than you can.
I did not know she was in it. She's from Dexter.
Doesn't look like there's a fast way out here.
I did not know that because we've talked about that. I haven't watched Dexter.
You had in your
I love the way they do the coloring, by the way.
Exactly how much.
All the colors are dull and muted until he takes the drug, and then all of a sudden everything pops.
Well, that's so smart.
Yeah.
Don't move. Hands in the air.
Yeah, that's Deborah Morgan. Was her name Deborah in it?
Oh, I don't remember.
Because that would have been really funny if it was.
Could you figure out exactly where that train is going to stop?
Because she was a detective.
That's too funny. That's her only role in life. She has one role.
She was in some other movie where she was she played some possessed girl. Like that was her first role.
I got you.
The
Like
Haunting of like Mary
Yeah, I got you. Yeah, the Haunting of North Jersey.
Killing these guys.
Something, the haunting of every girl that ever happened.
Yeah, every girl ever haunted ever.
I have time to make one more move.
Now, this show basically picks up where the movie left off. Just with a different guy.
Whoever created NZT
And
may be out there giving it to anybody.
basically, it's similar to the movie in the respect that they're trying to figure out how to make it stable, because that's the problem with NZT, is that it basically fries your noodle. And so there's some of that. And then the original movie, he, at the end, says that he stabilized it. What this reminds me of, have you ever seen Blacklist?
Yes, I saw a couple episodes. Yeah.
Okay, so why I say it reminds me of that is because this guy gets rope-a-doped into being into like the FBI or something like that, and he's just their lackey. They're like, we'll give you drugs so that you stay alive, but you work for us now.
Blacklist had James Spader in it, right?
Yes, I love that show. That's one of my favorites.
I'm not a James Spader dude.
I totally understand.
Even though he was in The Office, I'm just like, oh my God, I can't.
I grew up on Spader. So like, I'm a big fan because he's in like 2 or 3 of the like Brat Pack movies. So I'm a big fan of his based on that. So
I got it.
And also
for me, it's just like he's the same person in every single role.
Yeah. He
I
was going to say, I really liked him as he was a lawyer in Denny Crane. I always forget the name of that show, but he was a lawyer in that. And exactly what you just said, he plays a very similar character as the lawyer as he does in Blacklist, where he's the
So yeah, it's like if you're going to hire like William Shatner, you know exactly what you're going to get and what kind of role it's going to be.
I will be delivering dialogue.
Yes, no matter what.
All day. Okay,
even Shatner's music's that way too.
Oh yeah, it is. His scat and his bebop's like, hey, I'm doing bebop and scat. I do. Like what?
His Beatles stuff is the greatest. Maybe that's what we'll do one of these shows, like the worst celebrity like musical artist.
So, well, what's funny is I was gonna say we could limit that to like Star Trek and just Star Trek, to be quite honest. Because I know that Nimoy did a couple albums, and I know that there were other people like Data is fairly. I could be wrong. I think Brent Spiner did something, but I'm not sure. I don't know. I'm just talking.
I would feel like he would just be like on guitar, and he would be like flamenco, and that would be it. And it would be
I
no
could
singing.
see that.
Yeah,
I could see that 100%.
Oh, dude, I love this show.
Who else knows?
If you haven't seen this,
I haven't
this
seen
is so
this.
good.
Ronald Moore?
Yeah, dude, this is so good.
None of us has
I'm a
ever
big
seen.
Moore fan because of Battlestar.
What's it doing to him?
It's changing him. He had this look in his eyes. It wasn't human.
Looks familiar.
It's like the X-Files mixed with The Thing.
That's what I was going to say. The scenery reminds me of The Thing. No, I haven't seen this. I'm going to have to check. Oh, wait. I know for a fact I've seen half to 3/4 of this. Something happened with my subscription. Okay, I remember it now.
So Sci-Fi had it. They played it for 2 seasons, and it was one of those ones where it was like, and now stay tuned for next. Nope, there's not going to be a next season. We're just going to cut all the funding, and that's it. You just don't get it. You don't get it. You don't get it.
Yep. No, I remember that. I remember it with a T. I watched it, and then I didn't have Sci-Fi anymore, and then I couldn't find it. I was like, where'd it go? Because they had taken it away.
Battlestar Galactica, and then that would come on afterwards. And it did that for 2 seasons, and then that was it. And I'm like, why did you leave us on I don't even know. Whatever. You're dumb. You're dumb. You're stupid. Why did you do that to us? I mean, it was literally like they were going to find out what that stuff was that changed the people. And they're like, oh, I know what that is. It's, and that's it.
That's so funny.
And it was meant for another to just keep on going. And
it was ready for the next season. It was ready for the next season.
It was.
No,
it was
I totally get it.
Nobody watched it besides me. So
I liked it. I liked the parts that I watched, but I remember being thrown off by the scheduling or something, or something happened. I remember I got off the boat, and then it was one of those shows that once you got off the boat, you had to spend time to get back on the boat. And like it's not a normal show where you
right. And because nobody watched it, they had to throw it in odd timing.
Yes.
And it was like, here, maybe on Tuesday nights, maybe Wednesday nights.
It's so funny that you should say that, because that's exactly what happened to this one that we're about to watch. Exactly.
Clerks. Yeah.
Not Clerks. Not just any ordinary Clerks.
You hate people, but I love gatherings.
Wait a
Isn't it
sec.
ironic?
Clerks was an instant underground classic.
I'm not even supposed to be here today.
But nothing could prepare audiences for this.
Oh my God, I feel so nauseous.
Clerks. It's a piece of uncensored.
I don't remember that they had a cartoon show.
And on video and DVD.
Exactly.
This isn't a TV show.
Now who's being naive?
With 4 never-before-seen episodes.
So this is everything we were talking about all in one. So first of all, guess what channel it was on? And once I tell you the channel, you'll get all the problems.
Comedy Central?
ABC. ABC.
No.
So that's the first problem. Second problem is they had 6 episodes, canceled it after the first episode. It had 1 episode that showed. They showed 2 episodes on air. They never showed all 6 episodes. I think they showed them out of order, a lot like Firefly. And then on top of that, if that wasn't bad enough, they gave it 0 support.
I would think this would
now on video and DVD.
This should have been like an Adult Swim thing.
Nailed
or Comedy
it. And
Central.
that's what what I was saying. And this is pre-Adult Swim, I think. So this is it was right around the time I think Family Guy came out. I'm not positive. I need to fact check this, because I remember there was.
I feel like if Fox had it, like Family Guy, and then what was that other one with that Mike Judd did with the
not Beavis and Butthead, but the other one. Hale's King of the Hill. King of the Hill.
King of the Hill. If they mixed this in with that, it would have done great.
Yep. And it came out originally. When did it come out originally? 19. It's in the 19s.
Oh.
Tells you something, don't it?
So this needed to be with The Simpsons. This needed to play after The Simpsons. That's what this needed to do.
Yeah, but it was on ABC. And it had 1 season, 6 episodes.
It's not okay.
No, not at all. Okay, came out in 2000. And
ABC, when, what time? Was it like
they didn't even give it a time slot. They gave it like, they put it in a time slot once and canceled it. I literally had 1 airing. And I don't even think it was the first episode they aired. I think the episode they aired was like 2 or 3, and it was gone after that. I actually was excited it was coming out, but nope.
Right. Comedy Central was doing that Stripperella one with where whatever her name was.
Yeah, it's Tommy
Pamela
Lee
Anderson.
and Pamela Anderson.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. So this would have fit right in there with that.
1,000%.
And Drawn Together was about that time. Yeah.
They were on the wrong network, and we were talking about that before. I think if the correct network had picked it up, it would still be running today, because they had all that edgy comedy that all of these other shows have today. And it just it went sideways. Yeah, the music.
I know
was
exactly
up, so
which one this one is, and it's gonna be sad, but this was such a good show. It lasted 3 seasons.
What you talking about, Willis?
Nobody knew about it because it was at like 11 o'clock at night.
Yeah, I don't know.
Live from Studio 60 on the Sunset Strip.
It's Friday night. It's a show about Saturday Night Live from the other side of it.
I get it.
And you'll see who's in it.
5, 4,
Alan Arkin.
3, 2.
Oh, everybody was in it. Even Sting did like
I'm here
a
to speak to
singing
you tonight
thing.
about a very serious subject.
Oh, let's stop this.
My legacy. Legacy is the impact one leaves behind.
Let's stop it, Tom.
Did we lose the feed?
No, we're
live. I would like both of you to clear the stage. I don't want anyone to think that you were part
So
of this.
he is supposed to be like the Lorne Michael character?
Right, for sure.
This is not going to be a very good show tonight. And I think you should change the channel.
What the
Change
hell?
the channel.
When did they put this?
Go ahead, right now.
Does anybody know what the hell's going on?
No, I know it seems like this is supposed to be funny, but tomorrow you're going to find out it's not. And by that time, I'll have been fired. No, this...
You know what this reminds me of? Have you seen the new, it's a horror movie, and I think it's on Stars, but it's The Devil.
Oh, yes.
You know what I'm talking about?
It's on Shudder. Yeah.
Okay, so that means it's on AMC. That's how I saw it.
Yeah.
So yeah, and it's a show about a guy that goes. Let's keep watching this.
Interviews with the devil.
This is not a sketch.
But this is so. You're going to be so
You wanna go to
surprised
VCR?
by
This show used to
maybe
be
two
cutting-edge
of these
political and
main
social
actors that are in
satire,
this.
but it's gotten lobotomized by a candy-ass broadcast.
It
network
lasted
hell
3
bent on
seasons.
doing
Nobody watched
absolutely
it.
nothing that might
But
just
me.
challenge their audience. Change the channel. Turn off
I mean-
the TVs. Do it right now. Go ahead. Oh, I get it. This is not a problem.
Get the camera off of him.
Put it on what?
Cut the boom mic
It's
then.
his show. I take my instructions from him.
That remote in your hand is a crack pipe.
Are you bleeping this out?
Caesar.
He hasn't said anything you're not allowed to say. Who else in here knows how to do this?
Talk to my control room.
Get him off.
And the two things that make them scared gutless are the FCC and every psycho-religious cult that gets positively horny at the very mention of a boycott.
All right, stand by
These are the people
VTR.
that they're
We're gonna
afraid
cut
of.
in early?
It's prissy, feckless, off the charts, greed-filled whorehouse.
There it is.
Network. This thoroughly unpatriotic
Mother, go VTR now.
What happened? I cut a sketch and he went crazy.
Wesley, you're fired.
No kidding.
Mad as hell, and he wasn't going to take it anymore.
No kidding.
Your remark about we're meeting and who wants to screw my sister. He was talking about our shows?
We don't know.
Is there something funny about this, Jordan?
God, Jack, there's like 7 things funny about this. They're gonna say he was right.
What are you suggesting?
I want to hire Matt Albee and Danny Tripp.
Yeah, they do.
Sorry.
You'll notice these people.
No way.
I'm on a little Vicodin, some Percocet, and a steroid called
Oh, man, I
Nortazone.
feel
Side
bad,
effect
'cause
of
he
which
passed.
is mania. I swear to God, it says so right
Yes.
on the bottle.
And the award goes to Matthew Alvey for removing all that.
Hey, that's great.
The most expensive thing in television are executive producers you can't
So
control.
they
What the
start
hell are we
running
talking about?
Saturday Night Live.
So they're
And it's
in
great.
charge of it. That sounds awesome.
Yeah, and they're like
This show
Dumb and
sounds
Dumber
great.
running it.
Yeah.
And it is so good. And you got like Amy Adams in there, that dude that's been in everything. Like it was just so good. 3
I don't know
seasons.
why they get. Yeah, I don't know why they get rid of these shows. I really don't. Like, I know it's ratings, but I've never heard of this show.
Right.
So that tells you something.
But
They
why
must be at
why
a
do you
weird
put it
time or
on?
a weird thing. Yeah.
Yeah. They put it on Saturday nights competing with Saturday Night Live. Why would you do that?
That's
It's
like
a show
smoker.
about Saturday Night Live.
Yeah, you do one of two
Like-
things: either after Saturday Night Live or before, or a totally different day. Like that's just bad
Put it
programming.
at like 5 o'clock in the afternoon
Right.
or 6 o'clock in the afternoon and you got it. Like,
I agree.
replace this with whatever time West Wing was on because this was after it.
Right.
Like, and it's from the same writers and everything from West Wing, which I wasn't a huge fan, but the writing
No,
was
but
great.
still,
I mean,
right.
look,
And that's what I was going to say. I was not a huge West Wing fan, but they could write. They wrote the crap out of that show.
right. And like,
You know what?
everybody's
You know,
in
I
it.
hate to say this. I really hate to say this.
Yeah.
I think we've talked about this before. Did you know he was in an Odd Couple remake?
Yes.
And
it was
there's like
bad.
It was bad. It was real bad. And there was 3 or 4 other shows that he was on that I had never heard of at all. And I
Right.
call it the Matthew Perry curse. Like it seems as though whatever he got involved in didn't go well for whatever
Right.
reason. And I don't know what that is because if you look at the other stars, although I have to admit, most of that's not true. I was going to say most of them went the movie route, but that's only true of 1 or 2 of them. That's true
Right.
of the blonde and the brunette, Rachel and
and Courtney Cox did.
Courtney Cox. Yeah, that's what I was
Jennifer
going to say.
Aniston did.
Jennifer Aniston and Courtney Cox, they both
Yeah.
went on to do movies.
Yes.
Phoebe kind of floated. Phoebe did like
She floats.
she
Yeah.
was a lot. Honestly, she was a lot like her character, in my opinion. meaning that
Joey.
she did
I don't
a
know. He
lot of
just did a
different
show
stuff.
called Joey. That was it.
No, Joey did a ton
Really?
of stuff that you don't know about. Joey did this Netflix show, and it might be the one that you're talking about, but he did. So the one that I I found it one day and I was like, what am I watching? It was crazy. Oh, you're going to be this way. Give me a second. I got to grab.
So
Go
I
ahead.
know that HBO had Joey, and he was the same character from Friends.
That's probably the one I'm thinking of then. I think it was an
and
HBO
it
show.
lasted like 10 seasons.
Yeah, it lasted for a long time. A long time. And you know what's
And everybody
funny?
even was like, Joey.
Yeah, and it did really well. I love that show. I haven't watched all of it. I've watched like a season and a half because it's one of those shows, again, you fall off the bandwagon, you just don't get back on again. But the stuff I saw was classic. Like, he's like, why would I cock block myself? Like, that's stupid.
Right.
I was just like, what? And
like the premise was he made it big in Hollywood. And now
he was on a big show and he made it big in Hollywood, and that was it. It was exactly what he actually lived through and he went through. But the thing is that he was able to do it again. Do you know what I mean? Like Chandler was on 4, 5, 6 shows, and I couldn't tell you what they are. What you call it? What's the other guy? Ross. What was Ross on? What's Ross done? Like, I've seen him in stuff. I think
Ross did. God, what was that? It was like the OJ trial movie. Or no, TV show.
Yeah. I know which one you're talking about. I know which one you're talking about.
He played his dad or something like that. Like,
Yep.
Yeah.
It was weird. It was a weird casting.
Yeah.
And then I'm trying to think. And then going to other shows, like Seinfeld's another good example.
Oh,
so
speaking of Seinfeld, did you see that Toasted movie? I know you don't have Netflix.
No, I don't have Netflix, but I hear that Seinfeld's coming back on Netflix. Did you hear about that?
Okay. No, but Jerry Seinfeld just did a movie about Pop-Tarts.
Oh, like I heard about that. A Pop-Tart movie. I might have to get Netflix because I'm such a Pop-Tart fan.
It's great.
Yeah, no, I saw all the promos for the Pop-Tart movie because you have to do all the different shows and stuff. You have to do the circuit. So I saw him on that. But they were also talking about the fact that they're doing like a Seinfeld reunion new show animated series, I think that's what it is. But the reason I was bringing up them is because Seinfeld did Comedians in Cars Drinking Coffee, but that was actually somebody else's show that he just took over. Kramer got in trouble for being a stand-up comedian and just got really, I think he was hammered. I think he was hammered and he went on stage and said some stuff he shouldn't have said. I remember the incident, and then he was canceled. Like, I haven't seen him in much of anything since then. Costanza, he's been in a bunch of stuff, but it's always been like third string players. Like, he was in the movie with it's so funny how I remember actresses and actors.
Right.
I will give you something and see if you can. I know her name now because it came to me, but I have to steam my vagina. Do you know who I'm talking about? Steaming my vagina.
No, but I mean, it's
Gwyneth Paltrow.
Oh, yeah.
And
if you would have said she has a daughter named Apple, I would have been like, oh, it's Gwyneth Paltrow.
Of course.
Steaming vagina. How could I not know that's Gwyneth Paltrow?
But she has that crazy goop or whatever she has, and she does some of the craziest articles ever. You know what I mean? It like, the articles are just insane. But what I was trying to say, though, is he was in a movie with her, Shallow Hal. And Costanza played the third guy. It was a great film, but like every movie I'm going to say, he's going to be the third guy. You know what I mean? He's going to be like the sidekick of a guy. I don't remember any films that he was the lead in. And by comparison, Julia Louis-Dreyfus has had 2 huge shows. She had that Veep show, and there's some other show she was on too.
Well, she's in Marvel now. She's a Marvel actress.
Oh yeah.
She's one of the heads.
It's crazy.
Something.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. Like, it's weird how certain shows.
That big dude was in Jurassic Park.
Oh, yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, whoever that guy is.
That's you know what I remember him from? He was the villain dude. I remember him from Apartments.com. If we're talking about the same guy, we're talking about the Apartments.com.
Yes,
guy?
we are.
Yeah,
the guy that's not big anymore. He's skinny. Yeah,
super skinny. But it's weird, and what I've heard from the actors that have been on the show, because with the writer strike and the actor strike, you found a lot of what I call juicy details or behind the scenes. So have you ever seen the show Orange is the New Black?
Yes. I saw the first 2 seasons.
Yeah, I'm about the same. So that was the #1 Netflix show of all times when it came out. There was nothing bigger than that ever. The average residual check that an actor got from that, like lead actors, we're not talking like 7th string players, was approximately $20 for like 6 months. And by comparison, I think it was the fluffy shirt girl, on Seinfeld, that got him to wear that crazy pirate shirt. She was on like 2 episodes of Seinfeld or 3 episodes of Seinfeld, and I saw her in an interview. She said she still gets residual checks from Seinfeld that are like in the 4 and 5 digits. Not like $20, not like $100, not like even $1,000. I'm like, what?
Right.
And the soup Nazi guy, I saw an interview with the soup Nazi guy. He says he's still getting paid well from Seinfeld. And I look at these like streaming platforms, and they're just killing all of the actors. Nobody can afford their rent. It's just crazy to me. Like, I just feel horrible for them, because I mean, it's different when you're when you're on a CW show. And I'm not trying to pick on the CW. Don't get it wrong. Don't get it twisted. But like, there's nobody out there going, "Oh man, I've made it if I've gotten on a CW show." You know what I mean? That's not. Most actors are like, I made it because I got on Broadway. I made it because I'm in a Hollywood film.
Right.
Like, I made it because I'm on a network that's like remote and distant.
Yeah, they're like, it's a stepping stone. Yeah.
Right.
I'm here.
Right.
And I'm gonna.
I personally think that those people are better off though than these Netflix stars. These Netflix stars, the only people that are making money on Netflix are the ones that bring something to the table. So Sandler, I'm sure when he walked up, he's like, $100 million. I'll do 2 movies a year.
Yeah. Yep.
That's it. My production company handles everything. You guys distribute. Good. Done. That's it.
Yep.
Like, and those are the people that are making the cash. And these other people,
that
like, no.
Sandler movie, Hubie Halloween, is fantastic if you haven't seen it.
Haven't seen it, but again, no Netflix. So I'm gonna have to get back on the Netflix train.
Oh my god, that
I
is
had to
like
get off of the Netflix train though, because they were. I have the Hulu bundle, and my Netflix was more than my Hulu bundle, and I was just getting mad.
Yeah, I get it.
Because I wasn't finding anything on Netflix. This was probably 4, 5 months ago, and I had watched all of it.
Because you still need to finish Stranger Things too.
But you see, I got off the Stranger Things bandwagon. That was the thing.
I know, but you're missing the full like 80s metal. Like,
I know. It got way better. Everybody told me that. Everybody told me that once you get past that, it gets like really, really good.
Yep.
Like it got better and better and better and better. So next one. Let's get to the next one.
Yep.
We've been here for a bit. But yeah, that was I didn't even know that show existed. So I like this because it's like 5 shows you didn't know about.
Yeah. Oh, that sounded like Saved by the Bell. When you wake up in the morning.
It's in the school. It is in the school. But Saved by the Bell didn't get canceled. That shit was on for 27 decades.
Here.
Donald Chase. Reese.
Oh, what the hell?
Do we have a John?
Is this Reese? Heroes?
Excellent.
Much better.
Oh, I know what this is. It has a really hot girl that's a Terminator.
You nailed it.
Come with me if
Get
you
in if you want to live.
Of course, yes. Wherever you want to go, we'll just go.
We'll just go. Okay, so this is a double whammy for me. This is actually a triple whammy for me. First of all, I love that guy. That's one of my favorite actors of all time.
Yep.
He's on The Rookie now, and I just love that guy. So the show is called Terminator: The Sarah Connor Chronicles, and it was on at the exact same time as a show called Dollhouse. Well, they canceled the show I liked, which is this one, and kept Dollhouse. And what makes it that much worse is I found out within the last 2 or 3 months, but it's been known for probably, it was a big story 3 years ago and 2 years ago. Josh Whedon was not easy to work with. Kind of a not really good guy to work with. And it made me super angry when I found out that they canceled this to keep Dollhouse. Because this actually left on a cliffhanger.
This was a great show.
And they left on a cliffhanger. I
remember,
when any show
I saw
leaves on
every
a cliffhanger.
episode of this. Yep. And she
Yep.
was a
And
great Sarah Connor too, and it was great.
Did
it was
awesome.
just it was great. And she's that Serenity chick. So
and that's the Game of Thrones chick. I don't think you watch any Game of Thrones, but that's Queen Cersei. But this is pre-Queen Cersei. And that actor kid, too, is in a bunch of stuff. That actor kid's in a ton of stuff. But overall, this show is just phenomenal. And then it's gone.
Yes.
Good luck. And what I started doing recently, because I hate the way the new streaming services are doing what they're doing. What they do is they target you with a show that doesn't exist anymore. And they're basically like, hey, you should check this show out. So I've gotten really good. You little bee. You little bee. Give me a second. I wanted to get the full title on the screen and then pop it. Pop it. Oh, you little did it to me twice. Third time is the charm. There we go. There we go. Whatever. Anyway. Stupid buttons.
Yeah.
I'll be on Peacock. It'll be like, oh, you haven't seen this show. I immediately go to the description. I check how many seasons there are and how many decades ago it was. The other day, they promoted a show from like 2002 that had one season.
Do you know Netflix now says this show has been picked up for how many seasons, and it will actually tell you that there's future episodes coming?
I think that is the smartest thing ever, because I will tell you right now, I do not want to invest any time in a show that's one season. I don't either. Or 2 seasons. If it's 2 to 4 seasons, I will give it a chance potentially.
Here's
but
something
I always get disappointed.
Right. If it's a story from start to finish and that's the end of the run, I'm cool with it.
You know what show is like that?
You told your story.
Yeah, you know what show is like that? True Detective. I didn't watch any True Detective the first 3 seasons, but I got really into, I haven't watched all of it, but I got really into the Jodie Foster True Detective, which is the most recent one. And that's exactly what they do. It's like it's the same show name, but it might as well be called something else, because it's all new characters, all new location, all new stuff. It just follows the concept of being True Detective.
Right.
Have you seen that show, by the way? First season has whatchamacallit and whatchamacallit. It has Matthew McConaughey. Is that right?
Yeah, and Woody Harrelson.
And Woody Harrelson. Yeah, I think that's the combo. And that's a good combo. Yeah. Like, I'll be honest. That's like, in my opinion, that's a winning combo. You just like, okay, this is yours.
Oh, dude. So they needed to call this something different. If they called it something different, it would still be on the show.
Isn't that weird? A name can ruin a show.
I had a partner, believe it or not.
This was one of the best things that Netflix has ever done.
You told me. I've only watched, I think, 2 episodes of this.
Will I ever see you again?
For anybody that doesn't know, it'll come up in a second.
This is Cowboy Bebop, but they shouldn't have called it Cowboy Bebop
these days.
They should have called it something else, but yeah.
Like, loosely based on Cowboy Bebop. But how do you make a TV show out of...
Cowboy Bebop fans said that they did a really good job of making an adaptation of it. The problem is that isn't Cowboy Bebop the longest anime of all time?
No. You're thinking of One Piece.
Oh yeah, One Piece is the longest one of all time.
But Cowboy Bebop is up there, though, isn't one season. No, 1 season animated. That's it. There's a whole bunch of graphic novels on it. 1 season animated.
Okay.
And this had 1 season, but everybody was pissed off because they didn't get what they wanted. And this was Netflix's first attempt at an animated crossover.
I thought they did a great job on this, on what I've watched, and it's funny.
Was amazing.
And it's funny because I still have something that goes through my head every day from this, and not a lot of shows have that, and that's bath, shower, bath. Every day goes through my head.
Bath, shower, bath.
Bath, shower, bath. Bath, shower, bath. And
there was nothing about this that I hated. There wasn't a slow episode. There wasn't one of those like, ooh, let's do a look back moment. It was...
Right, let's skip this and we'll watch it later.
Do not shoot her.
Yeah, everything was great. And they set it up for them to have a second season, but I guess it finished the story, but...
I think what it is I think they do numbers. I think it's numbers, pure numbers. Do you know what I mean? So, like, let's look at it from this perspective. Let me get you to a title screen so at least...
So, like One Piece was amazing. It was so good.
Right.
And I had the same feeling
with Cowboy
Bebop as I did with One Piece. Yeah.
The thing I was going to say about it, though, is from a Netflix point of view, you have to pay for the intellectual property. So they're paying Cowboy Bebop something. Then they had the production cost, and I will let you know, I think the One Piece production was less costly, even though that's got tons and tons of visual stuff. It seemed like
One
Cowboy
Piece is
Bebop
so
was
great.
more expensive than One Piece.
Yes,
Even though I've
I
seen the
can see
One
that.
Piece special effects, the One Piece special effects are phenomenal. But the Cowboy Bebop, it's in space, and it has special effects.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
Whereas One Piece is on an ocean. Like,
And
okay.
you actually have a leading actor. Like, he's the Harold and Kumar guy. So,
exactly. You didn't buy. You didn't get like rando like the Stranger Things kids. Like like every Stranger Things kid got hired for nothing. I'm sure for the first season because nobody thought anything was going to happen with it.
And then they're like, let's get Winona. Like,
but that's what I was going to say.
Like
I guarantee you that the Winonas and the Ash. It's not. What's his name?
Yeah, I know what you mean. But yeah, that did.
Goonies guy. The Goonies guy. And it's funny because I just watched a video about him and his dad. That is one creepy video, dude. We'll have to get into that in the future. And I forget his name. But his dad, and I don't have a computer I can look this up on. I've pressed too many buttons. Anyway, give
you're good.
Professor points. So yeah, and it's crazy because Cowboy Bebop should have gone to a second season. I don't understand why.
Oh yeah, 100.
I just don't understand.
You know what? If Amazon or HBO did it, it would still be going on.
Netflix is weird like that. They will roll the dice with big numbers and then stop, and just stop. They'll be like, "Oh yeah, we'll spend $100 million and we're never going to do it again." So
yeah.
And I had a couple honorable mentions. I don't think I put them in here. One of my honorable mentions is a Prime show that you never got into, but I got wicked into it. And the problem I had with it, it's The Girl from Tomorrowland. And the problem that I have with the show is that it ended on a cliffhanger. Like, I don't have a problem canceling the show. Cancel anything you want. Don't end on cliffhangers. Just stop it. Just stop it. The worst is, did you ever watch Veronica? Oh, okay, you're still there. Did you ever watch Veronica Mars?
Yeah.
That ended on a cliffhanger. I didn't know that it ended on a cliffhanger because I didn't watch it in real time.
Yeah.
And so
you were talking about like the Pagentarius, whatever that was, where the girl got hooked up into the internet.
Yes.
Yeah, I've seen all of it.
And you've seen it? Yeah.
Yes.
I loved it.
It
I
left
thought it was
on
a great show.
Yeah, I did too. I thought it was way better than if they were gonna do like Ready Player One. I thought this actually was a better Ready Player One than Ready Player One. Because it's pretty much the same freaking thing. You log into a game system.
Right.
But
right. Exactly. And then go from there. Okay, so here's my next one. Let's get into it. And then we're gonna do
those guys who use a forked stick to find water in the desert? Diviners? I know him. I know a man who can do third-degree.
Do you know what show that is, by the way? Where these two
is this
from?
Bones?
It's a Bones crossover show. This was a Bones crossover show. So Bones basically came to this guy, and that's how they got the lead into the show.
Okay.
And it's that guy again.
We need you to find something.
Of course you need to find something. That's
Can
what
you
he
tell
does.
he's my actor?
I'm gonna have to see some credentials.
Yeah.
See that? FBI. No.
Here you go.
Don't give him that. No. Too late now.
He's very suspicious.
Why did you give him that? You're not supposed. You shouldn't. Just too late.
Walter Sherman has a gift.
So the name of this show is The Finder, and every show was him finding stuff. It's not more complicated than that. But it had the guy from Green Mile, which I love that actor. It has the girl from Tomorrowland. I love that actor. And then I love him. Yeah. And I was like, this is an amazing show. Canceled after one season. Goodbye. And the worst part about it is this guy goes on to do a show called Privates. It's got a name like
How ironic. It's called The Finder and no one found it.
Right, exactly. And it was a Bones tie-in. And I think that's why it didn't work, because Bones is a fairly serious show with a little bit of comedy.
Yeah.
And this show was a fairly strong comedy show with a little bit of serious. Do you know what I mean? So it was the opposite, and it didn't work. Like, you're not taking those fans and bringing them over here. And then he went on to do a show called Privates or something. And and I can't find it on the internet. Somebody scrubbed it. But you know how they do those promos for the show when the pilot first comes out? He literally is in the promo going, yeah, this show sucks, and it's not going anywhere. I guarantee you this show is going to be canceled. In fact, I think it already did get canceled. And he's doing that in the press junket to promote the show. And he's the main actor, and then there's two guys on either side of him, one on this side and one on this side, and they're the ancillary characters, and they're just like looking at him like, what did you just say? Because he had been on enough shows that had been canceled. He had been on like various, and it's a different guy. I was wrong. That's not the Limitless guy. I thought it was the Limitless guy. They're two different actors. I get actors confused because they look very similar to me.
Yeah,
but that was my show. That was my show.
Finder.
Yep, The Finder. Oh, and that leads us to, and I got to find it.
There was so many different shows. There was like a Sherlock Holmes show, and it had like Lucy Liu in it, and that didn't go anywhere.
No. That show did really well. That lasted for a shit ton of seasons.
Did it?
Oh yeah,
did it?
Way more than you thought it did. Yeah. If you get a chance, go back and watch it. You'll love it. That show is the best. That is one of the best shows. It's
did
called
they
Sherlock.
move like time?
Yeah,
Sherlock.
Show.
Yeah,
it was a CBS show.
Okay,
and I think they did have like a hiccup in the middle of the production. Like it's season 2, season 3. And you know what's the important part of that show? Angelina Jolie. And do you know where the tie-in is?
No.
Okay, the actor that plays Sherlock was married to Angelina Jolie. They met on Hackers. So they meet on Hackers, they get married, they get divorced, and then he goes on to do other things. And she obviously does as well. So I got to go find this. Give me a couple seconds. I got to get my other computer screen up on the thing. So is it this one? Yep, that's it.
But yeah, now with streaming, it's easier to find things, but
there's not a lot to find.
When everything was right, and when everything was on air, it was like, if you move a time slot for me, I think it's canceled.
Correct.
So
I totally am on the same page. So what were we just talking about? We were just talking about what show we were just talking about? Sherlock. I think it's it's 7 episodes. I mean seven episodes. Yeah, there's 7 episodes. I think it's 7 seasons.
Wow.
But I could be wrong. And the other thing too is, okay, this is something we need to discuss. There are seasons and then there are seasons. So when I was a kid, a normal season for any normal show was 22 to 24 episodes. Every single normal show, 22 to 24. Right. If you were a summer replacement, you got 12 to 14. That is just the way it worked. Period. Done. End of statement. Effing England comes in, and the UK season. Do you know what the UK season is?
3 or 4.
6 stupid episodes on the big side. You're right. There are some that are 3 or 4.
That one with that Cumberbatch where he played Sherlock is fantastic.
Yeah. Amazing.
And I'm like, 6 seasons.
There's 7 episodes.
Yeah. Or 7 episodes.
No. It's 6 seasons and you can watch 15 episodes. It's ridiculous.
Yep.
So as an example, this is the Sherlock that we were just talking about. No, Sherlock is the English version. It's 2010 to 2017. And I don't, how many episodes? 15 episodes? Nah, it's gotta be more than that.
See? That's what I remember.
Total Sherlock episodes. Total Sherlock. I've got to find the name of the other one. So the other one is there's 4 seasons of, okay, this is the funny part. 4 seasons of Sherlock from 2010 to 2017.
Okay.
And season 4 looks like it has 3 episodes. This is exactly what you're just talking about, to a T. And then Lucy Liu Sherlock. Lucy Liu Sherlock.
Because she was the only reason.
Elementary. Yes.
Elementary.
Yep. So Elementary had 7 seasons by comparison to Sherlock. Yeah. And they got really good. Like it got better and better and better. And did you watch Fringe by any chance? The TV show
no,
Fringe?
but I heard that it was good.
Well, it's amazing. One of the best shows ever. But the main guy in Fringe is the main guy in Elementary as the dad.
Oh,
he
gotcha.
plays the dad.
I just watched Lucy Liu in the first season, and that was it.
Okay. So the other one I think said 14 or 15 episodes for Sherlock over 4 seasons, and Elementary, which was a CBS production, I'm almost positive, 154 episodes.
Gotcha. Yeah, that's a good run.
Totally different. I also like Sherlock's character in general. He's a hound dog,
Oh,
and he made me laugh.
You know what also I liked, but only had like I think 1 or 2 seasons, was the remake of Quantum Leap.
It had 2 seasons. It got canceled, and I haven't watched all of it. I watched the whole first season. I liked it a lot.
Yep, I did too.
But the second season started to get a little bit out of hand, and I have a feeling I'm going to be angry as hell because I have a feeling that whatchamacallit, I have a feeling that it ends on a cliffhanger.
I'm sure it does. You know, I remember seeing an interview with like Scott Bakula, and they wanted him to come back and play the data dude, the guy that showed up that always had the little and he was like, no, the writing's not good enough.
Yeah, I would have
said
no.
He's like, the writing's not good enough.
Smart. He's super smart. That's like the smartest thing I've heard all day.
Just like the MacGyver guy. When they redid MacGyver, he was like, no, I'm not doing that. The writing is not good enough.
Right. And I hated that show, by the way. The MacGyver remake, I watched 3 episodes of it. Hated it all. Hated it all.
Because I loved MacGyver when it came out. I think I've seen every episode of it.
MacGyver was awesome.
Yeah.
I don't know if I've seen
what
all
he can
of the
do
episodes, but
bubble gum and like a stick.
And a paperclip. Yeah,
like,
bubble gum and a paperclip, and he can rule the world. Yep. Okay, so this
is guns.
This is our last topic of the night because I'm fading, but we need to talk about this. So,
oh, yeah, this is long enough. Yeah.
Hello there. I'm here to show you a wonderful place. A veritable Camelot, the nuclear age. Not made by God Almighty, but the working man.
You can be a hero by purchasing a residence in a Vault-Tec vault today. Because if the worst should happen tomorrow, the world is going to need you to build a better day after.
The world needs you.
You know what that sound is right there?
Geiger counter?
Yeah, that's radiation.
Rad detector. Yep, your rad detector.
Yep.
The mission of the vaults should be important to everyone.
To come up to the surface one day and restart civilization. Can you tell me what's happened in the last 200 years?
Holy shit. You're an actual vault dweller.
I am.
This is exactly how the games go, too. Like, this dialogue, everything like that.
That's what I've heard. I've heard that
this music,
did the random encounter really well. Yeah, you can play it on the radio. You've got like different channels and stuff. I knew nothing of this game. It's funny. I have the bomb in the background for like seasons, and it's the Fallout bomb. But I haven't played any of the games.
I've had a rough week.
And I have all of them.
Practically every person I've met
Fallout
here
4
has tried to
is
kill
where
me.
you at. Is where you need to be at. There's a radio station called like Nuke Metal, and I just listen to like all 80s hair bands as I'm running through the wasteland. And it's great. Full DJ, everything. Yeah.
So when I went to watch this first episode, I was very worried because we've watched a lot of movies based on, or a lot of shows based. Oh, okay. Let me just put it in perspective. Halo. I watched all of Halo on Paramount Plus. I will tell you, it's one of the worst shows I've ever watched. I don't know how I made it through the whole thing, but I watched it. I don't know either. I was on a death trek. I don't know why I watched all of it, but I did. It's bad.
No, Halo's
just bad. It's just bad. And so that was the last thing that I had watched that was a video game television adaptation. So I'm coming into Fallout going, crap.
For me, when they say the creator of Fallout is one of the writers for this, I went, so we're good. The guy that makes the games is doing the TV show. Like, we're good.
Right. Whereas Halo is not, Halo is just an executive decision by somebody. Let's make a movie based on our IP. And it really feels like that. I've not heard anybody say anything good about Halo at all. And by comparison, I have not heard anybody say anything bad about Fallout.
No!
Like, that's the funniest part. It's like night and day. So the name of this show is Fallout, if you haven't heard me say it 17 times. It is based on the television. I mean, it's based on the video game. And the video game, I've been So I've been in bed for the last month, as we've talked about, and when I can watch things, because I can watch a lot of stuff, but after a while, like that's why we're gonna have to quit. Is my eyes starts bugging out. So I've just been deep diving into all the old Fallout stuff. So I've been watching like old Fallout, the original game. I'm like, wow, this is interesting because it's a top-down game. And I don't think you like top-down games that much, do you?
First two I cannot get into.
Right, that's not your cup of wax, ball of tea. You're not into that kind of stuff. So, but the third one becomes a first-person shooter game, correct?
Yes.
Fallout 3.
The cool thing with Fallout is you press a button, it's a first person. You press a button, you're at the third person. So it's either one.
Okay, you can go back or forth. And then that's that new hybrid view. I've seen that do a triple, which like here, it happened originally. The first time I ever saw it was in a car game. First time I ever saw that perspective change was when I was watching like a racing game. That's what I should say. So Fallout 4, and then is Vegas next? Well, I mean Fallout 3, and then Vegas, and then
3,
Fallout 4,
and then New Vegas. But here's the thing: Bethesda did not make New Vegas. That was Orbison.
Right.
So
they farmed it out. They used
they farmed it out.
So what I heard about Fallout, so this is what I heard. Fallout 3 was buggy, had a lot of bugs, a lot of them. And then
it does, but that's what makes it fun. Yeah.
And there you go. And then they built, though, here's the problem. They built New Vegas on the Fallout 3 engine. So it took all of the bugs that had in Fallout 3 and just carried them over to New Vegas. And then everybody said Fallout 4 is the best one out of all of them. The cool thing,
it is. Fallout 3, Liam Neeson is the voice.
Oh,
so
that would be cool. Although all day I'd be sitting there going, "Am I taken yet? Am I taken yet? Have I been taken yet?" His last 5 films should just be called Taken again.
And the Vegas is my second favorite Fallout game. The way that you are in a vault and you level up, it makes it so immersive where you actually feel like if that person dies, it sucks. And the companions, because there's no...
Is that Vault 101,
you don't play
by the
with
way?
any... What was that?
What vault is it? Is it Vault 101 in New Vegas?
In New Vegas, 101. Yeah.
Okay. No. I'm just asking because that's the other thing that I've been jumping a lot into is the vault lore. And the vault lore is amazing. Go ahead.
It's crazy. So Vegas, the way that Orbison does the companions, you actually feel like they're there and they're helping you. Fallout 4 is my favorite because one of the companions you can pick is a dog named Dogmeat. And he is
Dogmeat. Yes. I hear Dogmeat's awesome.
Show what he is in Fallout in the TV show.
Yep. He's in the TV show.
He's a dog, but he has he has like all the vaccinations, so he can't have any poisoning. He's very smart. He's a trained killer.
And in the show, they show how they raise the dogs and how they basically are training them to be companions / like super high end dogs.
Right. Here's the cool thing about Fallout 4. You have a main mission, but if you get out of the vault and just don't want to do it, it lets you do it. You don't have to stick to anything.
You can do it any way you want. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So
however you do it.
Yes.
Yeah.
The 2 things that I deep dived into was the vault lore and then the glitches. So like I watched one video and it was literally like within the first 5 minutes of playing, I think it was Fallout 4, you're invincible and everything's at 100. I was like, well, that kind of sucks and it's kind of funny and it's awesome all at the same time.
Yeah.
And then the vault lore is great. So in the TV show, they go into the vault lore and they have a lot of it actually. And the way that they structured the show, I thought they did a really good job of balancing the past and the future. A lot of shows do a really bad job of jumping between the two. And at first, the first time that it happened, it was jarring to me because they have 3 main characters in the show, in my opinion. They have the girl who's the main protagonist. And then they have the guy in the future, the African-American guy. He's the other main protagonist, in my opinion. And then the third main protagonist is in both timelines. He's in the past and he's in the future. because he existed in the past and then he lived into the future. And I don't know. It just, they did an amazing job on the show.
Right.
They followed the lore. Everybody says that anybody that's into the game will freak out over the show because they paid attention to all the really small details. Like the really small details.
And like the Pip-Boy guy, he's everywhere. The little guy. And so here's the cool thing about the show.
And then you learn about the Pip-Boy guy.
Right.
Nothing.
We didn't know who he was. We had
didn't know
no
where
idea.
He came from. Nope.
So it's so great.
They did such a good job. And like I said, okay, so for anybody that doesn't know anything about Fallout, so there's a nuclear bomb. I'm not going to give away any of the storyline because it gets more complicated.
Anything.
But no. But I'm just saying, like, there's a way that I could, but I'm not going to.
Yeah.
So bombs fall. Fallout. The concept is bombs fall,
right?
And a company has created vaults that you go and you hide in while the radiation is there. Unbeknownst to everybody, though, these vaults weren't actually designed to keep humanity alive. They were designed as literally human petri dishes. So every vault has all kinds of nonsense and hooey. Like Vault 69 is all women and one man, like 1,000 women and one man. And Vault 68 is the reverse, as an example. And I was like, what? And
so
it just goes on and on and on.
There's a cell phone game called Fallout Shelter where you just create your own vault. You're in control of it.
No thanks. Those vaults were a horrible thing. There's only 2 vaults that I heard about that didn't sound like the worst things I've ever heard in humanity ever. You know what I mean? Like every one of them. So, and the funniest part is in the show, they're sitting around a table with all their competitors.
Yes.
And they're like, hey, we made these vaults and we've got a bunch of them. So you guys get first dibs and you guys can buy them. And I was like, that's weird. And then when you think about some of the experiments, you're like, wow, why would anybody do that? And then you think about the competition and you're like, oh, that wasn't them doing it. It was their competition came up with some of these experiments. Right. Like you can't blame Vault Tech, which is the people that created the vault, for all the vaults, because apparently they sold them to all the other companies and they told them what they were using them for. Like,
so
crap.
the cool thing about Bethesda and these Fallout games is Fallout 4 is the first one that you can actually have mods to, and they open it up and they let you can do anything.
Right.
So
just like Half-Life was back in the day. Like they added a mod builder and then you could do any kind of mod you wanted.
Right. So this is it's in their main menu. They say mods and they're like, if you play with mods, we don't have any control of it. If the game crashes, delete the mod.
Yeah, and I was going to say, that's the other thing too, is after the show came out, they dropped, within a week, they had a planned drop for stuff.
Next gen.
And everybody said, not enough. We need more. Like literally to a T, I was like, every single thing that I saw was, yeah, that was nice that you did that, but we want more. There's no videos that I saw that. Yeah, well, no, they weren't even talking. They were like, okay, if you're going to give us that, you need to give us more of that. And like you said, we want Fallout 5. Everybody's like Fallout 5. Fallout 5.
Here's the cool thing. Xbox owns Bethesda. Xbox owns Orbison. And I think Xbox is going to be like, hey, whatever Orbison is doing now, you need to stop and you need to make a Fallout whatever. Because
they have to be knee deep though in Fallout 5. They have to be. There's no way that they're not knee deep in it.
They're not, because they're doing Elder Scrolls right now.
Oh, okay, I get it. Yeah, I keep forgetting because they rotate. Because they're a standard. No. I keep forgetting that the major companies have 2 to 3 games at all times, and they rotate between them. So
when they finished with that Starfield, it's Elder Scrolls, and then it's Fallout 5,
and then it's Fallout.
So in the meantime, when they can outsource and make like a Fallout New Orleans or something like that.
Right. Well, that's the thing that's nice. That the thing that I appreciate about the Fallout world is there's no shortage of things that you could do with it, because you could do bunkers. I mean, you could do vaults at the beginning. You could do vaults after 50 years. You could do vaults after 100 years. You could do vaults after 500 years. You don't have to do the vault.
And
you know what I mean? You could do a wasteland.
With these games is you don't even need to do one mission. If you just want to build a town,
right.
you start the game and you just build a town, and you can have commerce and you can have everything, and you're just doing it by yourself. There's no little kid that is going to come and screw up your whole game. You're just doing it.
Right. And it's funny. The big controversy right now, and the only reason I'm bringing it up is because a huge controversy just happened. I don't know if you heard about it with Helldivers 2. So Helldivers 2, nothing like Fallout, by the way. It's a lot closer to a Fortnite. I would say that it's closer. Helldiver 2 is a lot closer to a Fortnite game than it is a Fallout game. It's basically a first-person shooter, and it's a team first-person shooter game, a lot like the old CS stuff where you had your 5 guys against their 5 guys. They put it out, and it's a PlayStation game, but they put it out on Steam. You could have it on PC or you could have it on PlayStation. Apparently, you needed to have a PlayStation account. And apparently, in some countries, you can't have a PlayStation account. So apparently, a crap ton of people bought this game and then got locked out because they basically said at the beginning, oh, you don't need a PlayStation account now.
Yeah, I get it.
But jump forward, it's a super popular game, and PlayStation's like, okay, now you all need an account. And they broke everything. So the company that made the game blamed it on PlayStation. PlayStation's like, what? And no, you're the people that told people they could play without having an account. That's not our fault. So they got into a big fight. All the people were pissed off, and PlayStation's fine. You can play that stupid game. So if I'm not mistaken, where we are in the timeline is PlayStation has given up fighting people from being unable to play the game without a login to PlayStation account. And that login into account crap sucks. I'm getting sick of it. Yes. Like, I have a Steam account. I don't have an Xbox account. I don't have a Nintendo account. I don't have a PlayStation account, and I don't have an Epic Games account, which means that 95% of all games are just, you're locked out. You know what I mean? I can own physical media for PlayStation 1, 2, 3. And once you get to 4, baby, you're out of luck. Same with Xbox.
You know, Bethesda at the end of this year is going to drop the new Indiana Jones game. And that's going to break everything. It's going to. Harrison Ford, it's his likeness and everything. Yeah,
The only reason I say that is because that game was awesome on Atari, by the way. That was one of the only good games on the Atari. But they've screwed up so many intellectual property games. I always worry.
No.
I'll never not worry.
So they gave it to the same people that's doing Fallout, that does Elder Scrolls, that is Starfield.
There's a chance.
You know,
there's a chance.
So yeah, it's the same team that did Wolfenstein. So if you're making a Wolfenstein game, about killing Nazis,
exactly.
Indiana Jones,
and that's a franchise I was glad that came back as well. Was the Wolfenstein franchise? That was one of the first games I played back in the day.
So
well, we're at that part of the show.
That.
Go ahead.
Yeah.
Keep going.
No, you're good. So it's the same team that started off with Quake, like that 3 whatever it was. So you got that team is almost done with the new Indiana Jones game, and Harrison Ford has the likeness for it and voice. So we're good. He just did AI stuff, and they just dumped it in. So now it's an AI Harrison Ford.
Yep, and they pay him based on that. Well, it's that time to say goodbye, everybody. I'm not going to be able to make it much longer. So I'm going to hit the button, and then I'll come back and I'll say hey to you, and I'll hit the stop button once we get to the end. And bye, everybody.
Bye.
So say goodbye to everybody. We don't really have an outro, so we'll just play the intro again.
We don't.
That's what we need. We need an outro. Not that I would know what button to press. I wouldn't have any idea what button to press.
I think we're going to make this video an outro every single time.
We've reached the end of an incredible journey together, and I can't express enough gratitude for each and every one of you who tuned into the TP
ending goes on for an hour. I think I have the wrong ending.
Oh, hello. What's up, motherfucker?
Yeah, I think you do.
It's the 7 one. Here, I'll jump to the end. Where's 7?
Heartwarming moments and thought-provoking.
Season 7.
Oh, yeah.
I gotta get season 8 up here.
Yeah, because it's a lot shorter.
Oh yeah. Bye, everybody. Bye. See ya. I made it short. I just chopped it. Yeah. Stop that stream.
Oh my God, I'm gonna stop the recording.
I love our laughing at the end. It's the best. Later, everybody.